So what does a car accident, a pickle, barking dogs, 5 hours of private investigation, and the Satellite Beach Police Department, what does that all have to do with each other? You're about to find out in one of the most humiliating, hilarious, and tragic stories you're ever probably going to hear. Oh, and an unlikely friendship. Crazy. You are never going to believe what happened to me. So the first part of my story kind of starts out with the tragic part. A week ago, while I was on vacation with my family, visiting family in Satellite Beach, Florida, we went out for ice cream. That's not the tragic part. That's actually the good part. So we're sitting at the, it's like a little walk-up ice cream shack in Satellite Beach. It's really good. It's actually called Surfing Turtle. Shout out to Surfing Turtle. It's really, really good. Disney fans, you'll want to know this. They have the real Dole Whip. The real deal. Not kidding. So if you're in Satellite Beach, stop at Surfing Turtle and get yourself a Dole Whip. Okay, but anyway, we're sitting there eating our ice cream, and my son and well, the whole family, we heard this. Without going into great detail, we witnessed a gentleman, a pedestrian, get hit by a car, and sadly he did not make it. It was completely just tragic. I mean, it was just, I've never seen anything like that ever before in my life. I hope I never have to see it again. And my kids saw it too, and my heart goes out to that family of the driver. Fast forward a few nights, and I'm sitting at home. I just got done being selflessly selfish and taking a long, relaxing bath, and I see that I have a message from somebody on Messenger from Facebook. And it was a lady that said that she had seen my post on Facebook about witnessing the accident, and she was there as well on the scene, and she wanted to talk to me. She calls me on Messenger, and we talked about the accident and what she saw versus what I saw. And, you know, the conversation went on for a while. One thing led to another, and the next thing you know, we talked for like an hour and a half. I mean, I got to know all kinds of things about her. She got to know me. We hit it off really well. And while I wasn't exactly obviously not happy that this accident had happened, we thought it was kind of cool that we just made this connection. So we're talking and we're just enjoying each other's company, having the greatest conversation for like an hour and a half, and suddenly in the background her dog starts barking, and she says, oh, my dog's freaking out, I don't know why. And she acted a little weird about it. So you know, she, I guess, went and checked on the dog. I don't know. She didn't say anything at that point, but she did mention the dog's barking. Then, right after that, she's talking and she starts coughing. And then kind of like a choke cough, you know, you could tell she was choking on something. And I said, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm just choking. I was eating a pickle and I'm choking on the pickle. And I said, oh, did it go down the wrong pipe? And she's like, yes. So she's coughing, she's choking, and finally she's like, just keep talking, I'm listening, but I can't talk right now, I'm choking on a pickle. I kept talking, and the coughing had stopped. I made a comment about, it was just kind of a joke because I'd had some bad luck in the last couple months. My son was in an accident, then we witnessed this accident, and there was just you know, some really weird things that happened. And so I made a joke, and I said, you know, I feel like my life is cursed or something, like I have bad juju, because it's like these weird things are happening around me. And I laughed, and then she laughed, and she's like, I would too. Then I proceeded to say like 2 or 3 more sentences. You know, I didn't go on and on. It was just like another statement. And suddenly silence, like dead silence. No laughing, no coughing, no anything, except I could hear her radio playing in the background. You know how when you're on a phone call with someone and you can hear them but they can't hear you? Okay, so I thought, well, that's what was going on. But then when she didn't respond or say anything, I thought, okay, well, we're not disconnected, but she's not saying anything, so clearly that's not the issue. So I said her name and she didn't answer. And I said her name again and she didn't answer. And I'm like saying it louder and louder, and then I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and all I can hear is the radio and nothing else. Okay, so I'm thinking something bad has happened. I have no idea what to do. I mean, because we were talking, I said something, she laughed, she responded, I said one more thing, and then dead silence. No response. And so I'm freaking out. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I call my cousin who lives there by her. I'm like, you have to help me. I don't know what to do. And she's like, well, here. So she gives me the police department's phone number, and I call it, but it's like the non-emergency phone number. And of course, it's an emergency. I mean, I'm thinking it's an emergency. So I call her back and I'm like, you're going to have to call 911 because I can't call 911. If I call 911, it's going to go to my police department here locally. It's not going to go to Satellite Beach. She calls 911. And can you imagine the conversation? Because guys, we didn't like friend each other on Facebook. We were only messaging each other on Messenger. So it doesn't show a phone number. You can't see you can see the profile, like whatever, 1 or 2 pictures that's on their profile, but you can't see details. So I had no address. I didn't know her phone number because it doesn't show up on Messenger. I had no way of knowing where she was or really even who she was other than her name. It's also important to remember that during our conversation, I learned that she had just moved there and that her husband was not living there yet. They were just in the middle of like moving, and he's going to be joining her, but he's not there yet. So I know that, you know, she's alone and she has children. So I'm thinking, I don't hear anything and something could have happened to her. And I'm thinking about these kids, like finding their mom on the floor or something, you know. And then I thought, oh my gosh, she choked on the pickle. Or she had an allergic reaction and her throat was swelling up and she can't breathe. Or someone was breaking in and that's why the dog was going berserk. She could have had a heart attack or a stroke. I don't know. But all I could think about was the fact that her kids were there and that there was no husband coming home to find her on the floor and help her. So it was up to me, Debbie, from the Midwest, nowhere near her. I don't know her address. I don't know her phone number. I don't know anybody she knows. I don't even know her neighbors. But I had to find this stranger in the middle of Satellite Beach and send the police her way. Crazy, right? But I did it because I'm awesome? No, because I care about people. I mean, that's just what a decent person does, right? So I'm recalling our conversation and I'm going, well, she said she lives here and it's 2 blocks from here and it's 2 blocks from that. And so this detective work going on, you know, so 5 hours of looking up Google Maps and trying to figure out what street she could be on and looking up MLS to try to find who rented and who bought recently. And I mean, it was quite the effort. And I'm just going to tell you, we're darn good detectives. I'm just saying, we're pretty good detectives. But anyway, so at like 2 in the morning, my time, 3 in the morning, their time, she gets a little bam, bam, bam on her door and it's the police. She opens it, she opens it, she opens it, she opens it. She fell asleep. Fell asleep. I sent the Satellite Police on a wild goose chase with my cousin for 5 hours. 5 hours to find this lady who I thought had choked on a pickle or was like murdered in her home. Yeah, just to find out that she fell asleep. She gets a little bam, bam, bam on her door and they've got their badge and they're shining a flashlight on it and she's like so out of it because she's been sleeping for 5 hours. And they ask her name and she's like, yes. And then she's like, someone died? And they're like, no, were you talking to someone on Facebook? And she says, I was asleep. And they're like, well, but you were talking to someone on Facebook and you were choking on a pickle and then you stopped responding and this is a well check. And she's like, I'm well. She's like, he's like, do you even remember talking to someone on Facebook? I'm sure the police thought we were insane. And I felt horrible and I was super, super embarrassed, guys. That is humiliating. I mean, listen, I had my cousin up all night helping me. I had the satellite beach police looking for her for 5 hours. It's insane. And she fell asleep. Guys, that's crazy. Who falls asleep like that? Like the drop of a, I mean, like, does she have like sleep apnea or something? How do you fall asleep that fast? I mean, guys, we were like mid-conversation. No grogginess, no yawning on her part. Just, she said something, she laughed, I said something back, and then bam, she's out. Down for the count. True story. And how active is my imagination? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody broke in. She had an allergic reaction to the pickle and her throat like all swelled up and she's choking, or she just never stopped choking on the pickle and she's passed out. I was starting to wonder. I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm talking to this girl and she got like killed or she died choking on a pickle while I'm on the phone with her right after I witnessed that accident and my son's accident and all these other things that kept happening to me, I was like, I'm gonna have to be medicated and someone's gonna have to check me into a daggone loony bin because I feel like I'm gonna be, like I'm cursed or something. You know? I mean, I was starting to wonder. And I feel so bad for my poor cousin who's in Florida and had to deal with the police and now probably feels like a fool. And she even had like one of her friends helping. It was just amazingly embarrassing, but also pretty awesome too, because let me just tell you guys, for the satellite beach police to spend that long trying to locate someone just to see if they're okay, I'm blown away. I'm just blown away. God bless all of you satellite beach policemen. You're amazing. Amazing. So thank God she's okay. And I made a new friend. So there's the silver lining in the entire story. Something tragic, like the pedestrian that got hit, still tragic, and my heart still goes out to that family and the driver. But something tragic turned into a friendship and a really hilarious story to share with all of you wonderful people on YouTube. Truth is stranger than fiction. And by the way, God works in mysterious ways because I made a friend in probably one of the most unconventional ways ever. Just can't make this stuff up. This is proof that my life is never boring. So you should subscribe because you're gonna get some more crazy, zany, weird stories from me because my life is just crazy like that. I mean, I've had people say they're gonna write books about the crazy stuff that happens to me. So you should just tune in all the time by subscribing. Where else are you gonna hear a story like that? Nowhere else. Give that a thumbs up. Hit the bell so you get the notifications, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Have a self-keen day. I love ya. Bye. You know the saying, truth is stranger than fiction? That saying is there for a reason, or, you know, it was coined for a reason. Yeah. Okay. You can tell I'm rusty because I've been on vacation, and now it's like I cannot talk. Vacation Debbie just ruined YouTube Debbie. I can't talk. I've like lost my ability to talk on camera because I just got so relaxed on vacation. Where else are you gonna hear crazy, zany, weird stories like this? Nowhere else. Just here, selfiekeen. Well, you probably will hear them somewhere else too, but I'm better at telling them. So, subscribe. Self-love.